when I use the phrase, it's a gift, I mean it in the sense of it's not like he was there and then received the gift of life.
Yeah.
Well, it's me, my very existence was.
Yes.
There's no way to repay that. The only
Yeah.
way to pay it as best you can is to take care of other people, to try
Right.
to love other people, to try to help other, to realize that we're in this together.
And as you say in the book, you use this phrase a number of different times, to free others for their possibilities. To free others.
The thing about that sociality runs so deep in our lives, none of us got the choice to ask whether or not we wanted to be born. Sometimes as students are like reluctant learners and they're doing this grumpy, I don't want to be here. And I do this, look, you don't have to be here. This isn't high school. Your parents aren't going to get arrested for you being truant. You don't want to be here. Drop out of college, but you can't explain to your parents why you won't want to be here. So you get all this kind of stuff. And I think at a certain point, you have to really up the ante and go, look, none of us asked to be born. And what are you going to do? You're going to sit and try to make it worse for yourself? You're going to deal with it. Now, so that's one level of the question of how does one deal with the fact of being been born, even though I didn't ask for it? That's, again, a very different question that does one have the right to say that other people can't procreate? David Benatar's What Better You Have Been is really just an absolute masterpiece because he really shows, I think, in a robust way that people have a moral obligation to not procreate, but they have a legal right to do it. And he's saying the legal implication of trying to enforce this would be much worse than it.
Yeah.
You start to think about it. I think the point is that sociality runs so deep that there are some decisions that only other people get to make. And our birth would be one of those. We don't get to decide whether or not we're born. That's something for other people to decide. Now, I myself am not having children. I won't have any children, but I'm not carrying a sign telling people they shouldn't. I think they should realize that they're giving a death sentence. You're issuing a death sentence. You had a child. That's the deal. Oh, and there's no other way to get the person into the world than to have someone make that decision for them.
Yeah.
Where do you go?
Well,
Yeah, because I don't have any closeted religious beliefs, I'm not fearful that people who are going to be born are somehow going to be sentenced to a life and eternal damnation or any of this kind of stuff. I feel like no matter how horrible life gets, and it can be a real horror show, death heals all wounds.